Now I'm going to show you on this. I'll show you the basic way to do it. I'll also show you what's fancy on this one.
What for these weights? I can't do it for
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. All right. The very first step you got to do is make sure that any weights that are on this are off. So there's none there, there's none there. Now, if you have to remove stickies, you use something like this. Okay, you don't use a screwdriver, you don't use a knife, you don't use anything like that. Why?
Scratch the rim.
You're going to gouge the rim off. Okay, so all you'd have to do is just like this is taking the adhesive off. You would scrape and the little sticky weights would pop right off. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to find the cone. Now these have the fancy double-sided, but even the other machines have regular cones on them. You want to find the cone that this wheel will sit on. Like you don't want it to go all the way in, okay? Too big. Now these have two sides, so I'll flip it. Still too big. See how that doesn't go all the way through? It kind of sits on the cone. That's what you want. All right. Okay, now, we take the wing nut off. Have my wheel and tire up. Put my cone on. I'm going to start this a couple threads. Now, working smarter, not harder. If you hit the pedal 3 times, it'll start tightening it. If you do it 2, it'll loosen and drop the wing nut off. So if you hit it 3 times, hold on. And the last little bit, you just tighten my hand. What this is doing is this is pressing the wheel flat against that back plate, and the cone's making sure it's going to be centered. I even like to do a quick spin and just look at it by eye, because if I see it going all over the place, I know I don't have it centered, which means everything else is shot. Now, I'll show you on the other machine before we're done today, but you always have to pick what type of weights it's using. If you see it there and there, those are stickies. That's a hammer. This side of the rim, if you look over here, has a flange. If it's got a flange, you hammer a weight on it. If it's like this side, no flange, you have to use stickies. So, we have a hammer. It's going to ask, you want to enter manual weight? Yes, I do. I'm the tech. I know what I'm doing. Thank you. Okay. So, and in fact, what we're going to do in this, because I don't know who was using it last, I'm blasting everything out. The inside uses sticky because there's no flange. The outside has a flange, so we'll have a hammer on it. Now, I also got to do my dimensions. This is your arm. You pull it out here, it sits right on the flange. And then you step on the pedal. Now it says, locate the center of the desired weight. If you look through the spoke, you'll see in there, there's a flat spot on the inside of the rim, right behind the spokes. That's where the weights go. You can probably see it better actually through the spokes over there. Step on the pedal again. Now, this is giving me the option that I can roll it to a spoke, roll it to the next spoke. So it is going to try when it tells me to put weights on, it's going to help me line those weights up so that they hide behind the spokes. This way, as your customer's going down the road, if they just spent $1,000 on rims, they're not just seeing weights everywhere. Okay?
Right, so you do each spoke.
Yeah, the machines will tell you do a spoke, now roll it to the next spoke. Press it.
You press the pedal to take the measurement.
Every time you're taking a measurement, just press the pedal. So now we have all this. So now, okay. So this one is going to take a rim run out. It's going to measure how much wobble the rim has. So once the inner arm and the outer arm on here.
You didn't even press the pedal, it just knew.
Yeah, it'll just run it. Then it's asking me, now this all is the extra fancy schmancy stuff that comes with the Road Force. Okay, and it'll go through all those directions. We're not doing all that. What we're going to do now notice, this one wants to make sure it's up to tire pressure. I have it set about 32. Why is it going to make sure the tire's inflated up to that?
Because that's the minimum, right? Standard?
Well, it's not only a minimum, but what happens if you're going down the road with an underinflated tire?
Yeah.
Can that give you a vibration concern?
Yes, sir.
Guys just did it yesterday. It was one of the number one things you had to talk about. Hey, isn't it amazing how all this stuff, one lesson leads into the next, into the next? It's crazy like that. All right, so this one's got an inflation thing here. You could set it, if you look, to whatever PSI you want. So we're gonna hook it up. Now, on those machines, you got to do this part on your own, manually. It doesn't check inflation. And it's only at 10 PSI in it, so it's going to take a second.
Now, do you have to buy these cones or will the shop now?
That's all shop tools. This whole thing is a shop tool. So unless you're opening up your own garage somewhere, you're not going to buy.
Nah, I
any of
figured
this.
they had the machine. I don't know if they had like all the cones, all the different sizes.
To be fair, most of your time you're going to go between about 4 or 5 cones. And it's going. By the way, if you put an overinflated tire, could overinflation give you a vibration concern?
Yes.
So this can actually bleed air off too, if it were overinflated. Okay. So we're, yep, it's where she's happy. We close it. Now it's going to spin it and find the weight. Now this one also has a roller in the back where it'll put,
It against the road, basically.
yep,
That's that simulator.
It's a simulation within a simulation.
now if you look, it's going to tell me where the sidewall is hardest. Okay, but it also tells me where to add the weight. This one also has what they call the hammerhead. It's got a laser up here. all the machines have a laser on the bottom. So because this is a hammer-on weight, this tells me right on this line, that's where I got to hammer to 1 ounce. Now I'll also show you how to put a sticky on.
That's why you said a bit rough and never balance out because it's bent and it's not going to get a right
This-
readout.
And it's going to depend. It depends on how badly this one's mangled. We might be able to get it. You might see exactly what we just said. Now, here are your weights. You'll see the weight bench over there. It'll even tell you what makes go with what profile, the flange. Basically, you're looking for a flange that fits nicely in there. Now, you hold the pedal. That acts like a brake. Don't let the wheel turn. Put it on. You tap it once or twice just to get it to start to bite. Okay? That profile's not right. Here's my other one. Now, once it starts to bite, move your hand out of the way. Couple good whacks. It'll bite right in. Does that make sense?
Does this yellow have any significance or not?
Yellow is going to be the high spot, the hardest spot on the sidewall. Now, I'm going to add a sticky weight just so you see how it's done. Notice it doesn't call for it. But I'm going to add it just so you see how to do it. Right? So here's your stickies. Each one of these is 1/4 of an ounce. So we're going to put, I'll put a 1/2 ounce on. You got your 1/2 ounce? You turn the rim to where you need, you step the pedal. You gotta clean the inside. If you don't clean it, it ain't gonna stick. Now, on rims that are used a lot more, this ain't gonna be good enough. What you're gonna need is brake clean out of the can. But this will do any of our classroom rims. Here, and the ounce up here, it's a 1/2 ounce off in a different spot. I'll even try. I'll try to see if I balance this one because I have a feeling. That you may be right, Mr. Shavers. We may have a rim that I can't balance, but we'll see.
Well, okay.
Now, if you got one like this where you just need to spread out a little bit, you notice the bottom of the hammer has these extra spots. You can put a weight in there, crunch the hammer a little bit, and notice it opens it up.
Ah.
There's one. Now spin it again just to see.
Ah,
And it said okay, okay.
yeah.
Now, I would be okay when you do your practical If this says 0.25, I'll still say that's good. Because real world, if you're within a quarter of an ounce, you're going to ship it. Perfect, you'll get okay. But a quarter of an ounce is not going to lead to a major vibration concern.
0.25.
Yep, 0.25. All right, stop the video real quick.